All right, what's up, Houston truckers? Just want to make a quick reaction video to an internal situation that's going on in my company, my team right now. I had a guy this a few minutes ago. Well, I just saw it a few minutes ago, and I responded to him in this group text. He sent me a message a few days ago in this group thread that we have for our team to make sure we stay updated on certain things and kind of have a central location for these communications. But he sent me a message about what's going on with him in terms of not making enough money, and I respect that. I understand that, and I don't mind that. I don't mind doing that in person or in group text, wherever you want to put it, as long as it's respectful. I'm fine with that. But the point is, there's a lot of guys out here not making the money that they need to make in trucking, and that's just not necessary. You have this guy out here in this 27-year-old Cuban guy that ran over this beautiful family and killed him. I think there's one survivor currently in critical condition as we speak, and changed their whole life because he went to sleep on the road trying to chase a dollar. You got the guy who just flipped over a truck the other day, 2 days ago, in Houston in Bayport, flipping over his truck trying to leave out the gate too fast. You have this over and over. This happens all throughout. We know this as truckers. This happens all the time. Some make news, some don't, but we see it all the time when we're on the road. I know I have over my 10, 12 years on the streets like this, and man, it's just unnecessary. And I'm gonna show you this group text. I'm gonna let y'all in on this group text. I'm gonna block out the names and all that. But let's look at that real quick.
All right, so here's our Group Me bulletin. It's an NDS XJ terminal bulletin. It's just a group of drivers that are in my terminal that I'm responsible for. And one of the drivers, one of the owner operators, man, they're having a hard time. And I spoke about this I alluded to this in the What's Your Trucking Attitude playlist, I believe. No. I'm sorry. It was a whole nother video. Anyway, go check it out when you can. But I alluded to this. I'm always gonna keep it a buck with the people. I want you to know what's going on so you can make the best decision. So the guy has an issue. So here it is. I mean, it's here for you to read. It says, I'm responding to him. I said, I'm working on figuring out why some drivers are doing well and some are not. In the meantime, I would accept every dispatch. I'm telling the driver, I would accept every dispatch available to me and focus on giving good service to the dispatchers so they want to keep you running. Now, I'm going to black out his name by the time all this is posted, but he sends he sends an overweight ticket or cat scale. He sends an overweight cat scale ticket, and it shows his drives a little bit under 12. I mean, his steer axle a little bit under 12. His drive axle a little bit over 37.4 or 34. You see it right here. You can check it out. And so I respond. Before I respond, the driver says, hey, man, I consider myself a very responsible and good driver. I definitely don't like to be compared to other owner operators. Each one works differently. Like I said in the previous message, I was hired to do local work, but I understand the work has gotten slow locally, and I have been accepting loads going to San Antonio and Dallas. Because I'm a responsible person, I'm not going to take any load to make the dispatchers happy, especially if I can get points or tickets on my license. The load from yesterday was overweight on one of the axles, as you're going to see in the picture that I'm sending you. The other problem is your dispatchers will give me moves with no pro number and then have me chase them down to be able to get the pro number in order to get paid. The dispatchers tell me to call at a certain time to get work, and I call and there's nothing, so I'm not sure what else you want me to do. I appreciate his honesty. I appreciate his transparency and let me know what he's thinking, because now it lets me know what I'm working with and what his actual problems are. And I'm going to go through and make sure that I respond to each of his grievances. But I did want to give him just some general. I want to get us back. Right now, we're in the negative. We're in the negative in terms of our perspectives. We're below water, and so my attention is to get us to at least ground level again, and then I want to address all his issues, especially one concerning dispatchers. But I know there's always more than one side to a story, so I'm only going to address specifically what's going on with him in this scenario right here. But I'm not ignoring him in my response, so I just want you to know that. So I address him. I let him know that our overweight permits will cover the gross, the permit, and possibly moving the fifth wheel back. If we pull that fifth wheel all the way back to the frame, the cross member in the back, or just put it to his rearmost position. If it's not already in that position, I can't say because I don't have all the information, but that's why I say that permit will definitely cover that over axle with possibly moving that fifth wheel back. It's about 400 pounds over. For those of you that don't know, you gotta have your drive axle shouldn't be your drive and your trailer axles on a normal truck should not be over 34,000 pounds. We can have it up to 3,400, bringing us to 37,400 pounds. This is 37. This ticket he sent me is 37,700 pounds. So it's 300 pounds a little overweight there. That could possibly be moved to within permit parameters if you move that fifth wheel back. So, I don't know exactly everything that's going on with that, but that's not too bad. But I still understand what he's saying. If it's overweight, man, I don't know if I want to touch that or not. By the same token, you got to know what you're doing as an owner operator to navigate that. You got a couple pounds, you got a couple hundred pounds. Well, you right there on the steer axle. We're not gonna go there right now. That wasn't my point because I don't have all the information. We can address that in another way. I'll address that with him one-on-one. If we ever want to do a video on that, man, we can. I think most of this you can Google most of this information in terms of where your weight should be as a trucker. So I go forward with him and say, I will be looking to everything concerning XJ drivers this quarter. I have not told all the drivers this. Normally, I tell them in an email. We just started a podcast, so I actually just uploaded it to the internet. Anybody and everybody can actually see how I've addressed my team, and I've chosen to do it that way on purpose. Anyway, I let them know I'll be looking into everything between the next 3 months. And I let him know I'm sorry for that he interpreted what I said as comparing him to other drivers up here. This is what I said. I'm not sure how he got that, but I said I'm working to figure out why some drivers are doing well and some are not. Maybe that's what it was. Either way, that's a good comparison in my opinion. I didn't want him to take that into a negative way. I told him I'm gonna do everything that I can to help him earn what he's bringing to the company. If he's bringing a lot of value, we want to return that value to him and to any other driver that's coming with us. And then I told him I'll let him know about our scorecard. Now, I'll let you go and you can read yourself the rest of this. It's been on long enough for you to be able to read that while I'm yapping. I do have a scorecard here. The scorecard is how I measure a driver's performance. So take a look at this and let me know what you think. All right, so that's what we're looking like. This is what I determine to be a good, valuable driver. E-Rigs is a dispatching system that we use. Whatever dispatching system is really the updating of the correct status in real time, letting your dispatchers know if you have a DMS, a dispatching management system, or some kind of system that you're working with electronically for your dispatchers that you can keep them updated on your to's and froms and your ETAs. Man, being able to do that and keep your dispatcher informed is important. Uploading the correct paperwork in real time is important. That's just what it is in this day and age. We'll have to do another video on this stuff if we if you guys want to go further into this, I'll break all this down. But I sent him this so that he'll have the information on how I'm looking at each driver. Now, this is what I wanted to get at, man. This is real cool to see another driver jump in and offer a helping hand, because that's important for not just your managers to be able to get to you and tell you this or that, but when a driver comes up and steps up and says, "Hey, man," and this particular driver, I'm gonna block out his name too, but this particular driver in particular, because he's upfront and honest and transparent about how he's thinking and feeling about things, and I love that, man. I really love those type of guys, man. As long as we can be respectful, but lay it on the table for everything to be talked about, man, that's what we need. And so I don't back down or run from that. I appreciate that, in fact. But here's what this driver responded. He says, "Man, as a driver, it's up to you to reach out to as many drivers as you can. I've pulled loads for all these different terminals, etc. Your dispatcher may not have a load, but the other might. We all one company. I've pulled many loads for many dispatchers. I've net over $2,500 a week and recently $5,800. You got to take the initiative and keep your truck moving, whether it's OTR or local. I do both, and I have a sleeper." I'm just saying. I appreciate a driver like that. I appreciate mentalities like that. And he's not the only one. There's many drivers that think the way he thinks. He's just more vocal. It looks like he's actually bubbling up right now, something. But the point of the matter is, man, I want to hear what your experience is, and maybe it's your thinking. By telling me your experiences, if you're not doing well in this industry, man, especially if you subscribe to this channel or this podcast, however you listening to this right now, I want to give value back to you, especially if you're commenting and throwing value out here for us to be able to chomp on and just kind of get some grip of what's going on in our community, in our trucking community. I definitely want to hear from you. And if you're having a hard time at your place, leverage my information, leverage my experience. Come talk with me. Come jump on a podcast, man, or jump in the comments and let's talk a little bit about these things. I wanted you to see this firsthand. So I stopped my workout real quick so that we can dive into it. Let's jump out.
All right. So we see the brother is having some issues with revenue. Man, anytime revenue is a problem, it messes with a man's head. It messes with us. We can't think straight. We can, but we choose not to. Again, if you know who your maker is, he already promised, and the burden is on him. The burden is on God to show us that he's faithful, to show us that he's gonna do what he said he was gonna do. And he says if we follow him, he'll take care of all our needs. Now, if we got into debt and things, bought some things we wasn't supposed to buy, and we got to crawl our way out of it, all you got to do is come up with a plan and begin working that plan. We could talk about that another time, but the point is, man, this driver has some things to do, just like many other drivers, to climb up out this situation that they're in. If you're at a good company, and if it's a company that's fit for you, this company may not be for him. I don't know. I'll find out over the next few months. But if it is for him, then he needs to stay and figure out how. If it's for him, then he'll do the things that the company requires for him to be successful. And he'll be okay with those things. If he's not okay, if they're upfront, if the company is upfront about the things that he needs to do to be successful, and they line that out, they put this in a line item organized way to where it's understood, it's clear. If he reads this list of things to do and he's okay with doing those things, he feels like it's reasonable. If that's the case, then man, he should stay at that company and make it work. Make sure that the dispatchers and the managers, especially the leaders, do what it takes to make sure that he's successful. If he's doing everything, he's okay with doing everything that they're saying that it takes for a man to be a driver to be successful there. So yeah, again, man, it's we really can we can trust in God. If you put your hands in God's hands, man, and really trust in Him, by doing what he says to do and living how he says to live, you don't have to worry about none of this. You don't have to worry about what's going on in the market. You just got to do your due diligence and do your part and let God handle the rest. Really trust him to do it, and you'll see him do it. Plenty of guys out here that's not even trusting in God that's that's making their money. But money ain't the only thing. So you definitely can make your money as a child of God. But just on some GP, trucker to trucker, you have no business not making money in this industry. Even in a hard time, you just got to do your part. Stop crashing and wrecking stuff. 10-4 and out.